It's running a little slow today. Okay, so for starters, I do want to mention our new producer builders. So our new producer builders, this is a great way to really introduce yourself not only to the incentives of IMS, but also to the people that we have that's helping you grow your production. And so this is the best way to really get a good head start as a new producer with IMS at the $100,000 level. We do pay you for mailings, iPad, $750 cash, emails, what have you. And then in the mid tier, this is the average case size that I certainly love to strive for. $250,000 to $750,000. So these are three different tiers that we have in the middle of all this. So you could do this off of one case, or you could do that with a mixture of cases. And as you see, the incentives are all different on this. And we do have the $1 million level, which will grant you much more, like 8 to 10 preset annuity appointments, seminars, and of course, some other nice pieces that we have published in news outlets, especially if you do advertise locally. That is a huge deal. So pretty much anything you need to get your business up and going is really where we want to have you. Now, what I do want to say is these are a lot of different opportunities to help you grow your production. And we understand that you might have been doing business for a long time already. You might already be seasoned. In that case, if you already have marketing figured out, what we will do is look at those options and see how we could reimburse you for your production. So there's certainly many ways. I don't want you to be limited by what you see on the screen in terms of incentives. And I did want to mention as well, I think I forgot to say, if you are new to IMS, my name is Kat. I am an annuity sales director, and I've been here for quite a while. And, it's been such a great experience to be able to see people meet that new producer bonus. But more so, the most fulfilling part is to help see the momentum continue to grow and to partner with my agents. And so, how I've been able to partner with my agents is by using the IMS business builders, helping them increase their capital. I was telling one of my agents earlier that not uncommon for you to come to IMS as a new producer and to double and triple your production. And I say that because you have us investing right back into you anytime you are doing any business with us. And so as a new agent, you do have those 180 days within your new producer bonus. And once you graduate from that, you do have new incentive programs available to you, like the referred producer program and the marketing reimbursement program. The marketing reimbursement program is where you are consistently submitting business, right? This is where I really want you to visualize all of this adding up. Let's say you put in $100,000 FIA case, you get $100 back. If you do 10 of those in 1 month, then that's $1,000 right back in your pocket to go into marketing. We also do this on the life insurance side. For single premium life, we do pay $200 for every $100,000 single premium life case. And for life target, like term, whole life insurance, $200 for every $10,000 of premium. So again, I want you to visualize all of that stacking up as you are consistently going through your practice, meeting with clients, and just consistently submitting business. In an ideal world, that's exactly what we want. And so I will be pausing in a little bit here to put out a poll and ask you if you have a system in place. But before I get into that, we do also have our referred producer program. This is just another way to continue increasing your capital through stacking the marketing incentives that we have here at IMS. So when you refer an agent over to us and they contract with us, they get either an annuity contract or a life insurance contract, you get a $50 one-time bonus. The nice part about that, I know the $50 might not seem like a whole lot to people. The nice part is that you actually get a little bit of an override. So on a quarterly basis, Stephen Charles will sign a check from IMS saying thank you for the referral. where this money comes from is not from their commissions. It's not from your colleagues or your fellow agents' commissions at all. It actually comes directly from IMES. And so on every piece of MIGA business that they do, you get paid 10 basis points. On every piece of FIA business they do, you get paid 20 basis points. And on life insurance, it's 75 basis points for single premium life and 15 basis points for life target. So again, I do want you to visualize all of that stacking up, because some people don't like to run a team. Some people like to do things on their own and run independently. This is the type of program for that agent that might have a lot of agents that are in the business but might not necessarily be part of the same IMO. Well, you can refer them over and you can get paid without having to be responsible for their business. So it's a really big win-win situation for everybody. And it is a great way to increase your capital. And one of the biggest things that we do pride ourselves on here at IMES is the back office support. So a huge component of back office support is the people. So not only do we have business building tools and resources on our website, but we also have great departments that are all in-house. We all come into the building every day, whether we're working in Topeka, Kansas, or here in Omaha, Nebraska in our headquarters. We all come into the office every single day ready to service you. So when you call in, you're always going to get a live person. We don't have any voicemail, and we haven't for maybe the last almost 40 years now. Um, but also we have different departments that handle different things. So as an annuity sales director, I handle everything pre-submission. So if you need any quotes, any annuity illustrations, or just case support guidance, that is heavily what I do. More so than just running illustrations like order takers, we actually take the time to listen to you and listen to what your client wants, and really dedicate a product that is customized and designed for them. Because at the end of the day, we work with over 70 carriers, both on the life and the annuity side. You could be selling any one of these products, but as we know, that always comes secondary to the relationship that you have built with the client and the trust. And so that is something that we focus on very heavily here as an agency with you guys, and then you guys with your clients. And so it's a very synergetic relationship that we have, and that all comes within our back office support, whether you're working with our annuity new business team. We have some of the greatest people in that department. Our life new business team, the same thing. They're really the ones that help you get these things issued and across the board. And there's only one of those people. There's only one Mackenzie Abbott. There's only one Natalie Goss. There's only one Michelle in Life New Business, one Kim Irish. So truly, truly appreciate everybody that we have here in our back office, both from an outside perspective and an insider's perspective. And as I mentioned, we do have our IMES website. Our IMES website is fantastic too, because in the times where you're not able to reach us, this is actually available to you 24/7, and we have everything on here. We have all of your e-applications available on here. You can submit annuity quotes, although I do say it's a lot quicker if you just email us. And we do have some nice LTC life grids, underwriting grids, and we have annuity rate watch that we give all of our agents for free. So it gives you the ability to see everything that's on the market, whether you're looking at what's competing with you or just looking to check MIGA rates. That is a huge, huge source of why agents like to get partnered with IMES. And as I mentioned, these are our e-application options. So Luma Firelight, iPipeline, Sunfire, very less of Sunfire, but more so iPipeline on the life insurance side, and some MIGAs, and then Luma Firelight for the majority of our annuity business. And so everyone's familiar with Firelight, but not so much Luma. Luma is a great tool where we've seen it pretty much from the ground up. Luma has been a really critical part in how we've been able to help agents scale their business. So as you know, we've been around for nearly 40 years. We have some agents that have been with us for that long. And so what we've been able to do is create reports where we're able to see which annuities are underperforming, which annuities are coming out of surrender, but also just the ability to check by carrier. So if you have any carriers that maybe aren't performing as well, maybe the service is lacking and whatnot, we're able to run reports on all of those things through Luma. So I highly suggest that you get with your marketer if you are not already using Luma and its full capability, because there's a lot that it can do. And sometimes the technology is so advanced that we don't always know what to do with it. But once we start using it, it actually becomes very beneficial in helping us scale and becoming more efficient in our practices. So definitely give us a call if you're not using this, and give us a call if you are, but might not be using it to its full capability. Next, we do have our creative services. Our creative services, like I said, are here in-house. So we are so lucky that we do not have to go third party this. This is a team of people that actually still come into the building as well. So we've got a team out in Topeka, Kansas, and we've got a team here in Omaha. So it's really easy to get a hold of them. And what they focus on are agency solutions, digital solutions, turnkey options. They do such an amazing job, and each and every one of them work so hard and are so dedicated to everything. Like Ryan, for example, he does a great deal of work on our on our agent websites, where pretty much a lot of our agents have the handoff approach. They don't have to be doing all of the things that they used to do on their own, or having to go look and third party some of this stuff. This is something that will take your hands off of the marketing side of things, and really just focus on what you do best, which is production, talking to people. And so, of course, we want you talking to clients and not so much just vendors and people who are going to put your website together. So this is a great one-stop shop. And again, really terrific people that work in that department. And one of the things I did want to mention as well is our complementary marketing analysis. This is great because we have hired a marketing implementation specialist, CJ, who does a terrific job on our marketing analysis. So one of the programs, so Rick Katz, he's our leader of Federal Bridge. And many times we will put this on the marketing analysis because many of you have actually been very curious about the federal space. So Federal Bridge is a favorite on our marketing analysis. Um, the one thing that I will say stands out between this and other companies is that it's a two-piece process. So in that first piece, CJ and I, or CJ or one of your marketers, are asking you a bunch of targeted questions, really to refine your market, strengthen your brand, and explore other opportunities for you to really scale your practice. Once we're done with that, he puts together pretty much a 25-page plan, along with a 90-day success plan for you to also be able to take action on. So we've tailored this to you. Now, Federal Bridge has been a favorite, but it's not for everybody. But for those that have been curious about it, it's definitely one that we will heavily put on the marketing analysis. So if you haven't done this, I definitely would say go ahead and get with your marketer and schedule a complimentary marketing analysis. It doesn't hurt, especially if you're not seeing the numbers you'd like to within this first quarter. Today is the last day of this first quarter, and I would hate for you to feel like you just haven't hit the numbers that you would plan for, all because of marketing. And marketing is really the stem of it. So definitely, again, get with us and see how we can help. Our Iams Wealth Management Department, now they're actually in another building. So everything here in Omaha and in Topeka, it's all insurance. And so this is the AUM, RIA side of our practice, and this is for securities registered reps. So what their value propositions are very similar and synonymous to ours. They believe in customization, collaboration, and best in class service. And so they do that all on that side as well. So they'll help you increase your revenue, improve client retention, and strengthen relationships. And they do have a great starter program if you are an aspiring advisor. So definitely get a hold of them, or get a hold of us if you're curious about information on our Iams Wealth Management side. And then we do have, excuse me, we do have our Life and Annuity Academy coming up. Our Life and Annuity Academy is a great way for us to meet you. This is some of the only time that I ever get to meet people in person. And what we have here are multi-million-dollar keynote speakers. Rick's actually going to be out at our academy. Um, You'll also get to network with some of our top producers and see what's working for them. So our Life and Annuity Academy, it's not so much an annuity and life insurance 101, but it's more of an advanced intensive producer training. And it's 3 days, all expense paid, live in-person training. And we really teach you on how to scale your practice. So this training is definitely not for basics. It's really for someone that's trying to grow and expand. So we're looking for the agents that are maybe doing 1, 2 million, looking to do 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10 and beyond. So definitely let us know if you fit this criteria. And then these are our social medias, Facebook and LinkedIn. Definitely give us a follow if you'd like to stay in touch and up to date with what's going on at IMES. I know we call you guys all the time, but it's always nice to see everything in case you've missed us or in case we've missed you. So definitely follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. What I'm going to do before I hand over the mic to Rick is shoot a quick poll. So if you could kindly answer. So one of the questions I had asked was, do you have a system in place? Go ahead, vote yes or no. This is going to be a really interesting one because many of us have systems in place, but also many of us don't. When I came to IMES, I used to be a marketer, or I'm sorry, I used to be an agent before I was a marketer. And I had a system in place. You know, I came from the Medicare side, but I was still lacking some skill set, some very foundational training. And so, what I love most about Rick and just seeing this program from the interior side is the fact that you have an expert that's really spearheading this program and also has that type of guidance where I can tell he genuinely cares about the agents that are utilizing his program. So, thank you for taking the time to vote. I'm going to go ahead and close that up. And I've got one more question before I hand this over to Rick, and I'll do another one at the very end. So my last question for now is, are you in the federal market? So go ahead, take a vote. This will also be a fun, interesting one to see the results of. Alrighty, well, thank you guys for taking the time to vote. I see people are still voting, but of course, I always do follow-ups after my webinars. So you'll be getting either your marketer or me reaching out from the team to really see if you have any questions. And without further ado, I will go ahead and pass this over to Rick.
Thank you. And if you can allow me to share.
Oh, I think I shared on accident. Here we
Nope,
go. Let me
nope,
stop
I
sharing.
think we're good.
Okay, good.
And so, Kat, just to confirm, you can see the presentation slide, right?
Yes, yep, I can see
Right.
you, and
Yeah.
it looks good.
Welcome, everybody. You know, I love seeing that poll because this is all about a process. You know, there are very few major true obstacles in our business. In September, it's going to be my 49th anniversary of being in this amazing industry. I haven't figured out what else I'd rather do right now. That's why I'm not retired. I love this business. Love the clients, love the agents, even the carriers, believe it or not. I've spent about a third of my career on the carrier side as well. But we're not talking about that today. It's not about me at all. It's actually about this program. It's about the federal space. I've been a specialist in target markets for many years. And one of the things that I learned was with the target market, you can get really, really good and create an expertise and wisdom within that market because you learn the culture and you learn what their needs are, you learn what they care about, and you most importantly learn how to serve them. And that's what Federal Bridge is all about. So if you're in the federal market already, this will make it easier and it will make it more profitable. And if you're not in the business already, this is exposing you to a market that is just extraordinary, that there simply aren't enough people that are working in this market. Now, the value proposition is really kind of fivefold. The first one is client acquisition. If you have plenty of clients and you're doing all the business that you want to do, this isn't for you. So have a nice day. Good luck to you. But for the rest of us mere mortals that have capacity and can write a little bit more business, this is all about getting more clients. It's an underserved target market. It's a target market, specifically federal employees, not state or municipal. Federal employees have one system. Now, there are exceptions and specifics, but it's all one system for that target market, and it's very, very underserved. There's one HR department for the entire federal government, OPM, Office of Personnel Management. What we will do, we will train and equip financial professionals to either get to the next level if you're already in the federal market or enter the market yourself. And it's also a wonderful opportunity to monetize the relationships. In fact, sometimes, I don't feel that terrible, but I almost feel bad because you get paid disproportionately for helping these folks. For example, I helped a postmaster making $88,000 a year retire at 58 years old. $88,000 a year. My total commission on the case, agent's commission, was about $12,000. I don't know what else you can sell or serve an $88,000 a year person and make that kind of money. And oh, by the way, it didn't cost them anything. I got paid by the insurance companies. I didn't get paid by that individual. In fact, what I like to say to them is I'm a registered federal contractor and a financial professional. That means that everything I do for you, somebody else is paying for. So relax, put your feet up, get yourself a drink. I'm going to help you retire on time and with better results than you thought you could. Finally, with IM support and Federal Bridge, we will support you not only to stand you up in this business, but we'll help you sustain yourself in this business. So let's get a little bit more specific. Client acquisition, it's a prospecting and marketing plan. We have a prospecting plan where there are 6 different ways where you acquire new clients. Where do you find them? How do you find them? Everything from a LinkedIn campaign to buying federal leads. There's plenty of critical mass. There's nearly 3 million. There's about 2.8 million federal employees and another couple million that are already retired. They all talk, excellent internal communication. What's really neat about this is it's a very sticky market. That means that when I help a nurse from the VA at the Houston VA Medical Center retire, I have her or him and everybody around them because they all talk to each other. And as soon as they find somebody that's going to help them get to where they want to go, they tell everybody. And finally, there are multiple opportunities to monetize. And we'll talk a little bit more specifically about that in just a minute. So client underserved market, there's nearly 3 million, as I said. There's one HR department. They really need help. Right now, they call a toll-free number in North Carolina and sit on hold for about 45 minutes to get an answer. And if they don't like the answer, they hang up and call back, and hopefully they'll get somebody else. Ask for their name and ask for it in writing, although the federal government will not put it in writing for them. There are very few market specialists out there. In fact, most of the people, if I ever run into anybody else, most of them are product purveyors. They're pushing product. They talk to a federal employee and say, how much do you have in your TSP? You should roll it into my annuity. They're not doing any planning. Those that are doing planning aren't really doing comprehensive planning. Our process helps them from conception, from the time they say, I think I want to get out of here at some point, to I'm retired, congratulations, where are my paychecks? We will help you through that entire process. Training and equipping you, well, first of all, we have best-in-class benefits and sales training, not just the benefits and retirement training, but also sales training, because this is a different market. We have different regulatory issues we have to deal with and different compliance issues. So you really have to know how to do it the right way. It's a proven client development process. For example, we use a 4-step sales process called DDRR. That stands for discuss, discover, reveal, react. By the way, feel free to use that on the rest of your practice as well. First, we discuss with the client what's important to them and what they want to happen. Then we discover what they've done about it. We call that a fact finder. Then we create our forecast report, and that will reveal what they still need to do to get to where they want to go. It will also tell them how they can influence the outcome. They probably have more influence over their outcome than they think they do. And we do all of that with the client-friendly forecast presentation. That's the software that you use to be able to present it. Now, there are a few other software packages, and I'll talk about that in a moment, out in the marketplace. I didn't like any of them, so we developed our own. None of them told a story. None of them were customer intimate. They were great at crunching numbers, but this takes people through step by step. And when they get to the pages that you and I would consider the close, they look at that and say, why would anybody do that other thing? Why doesn't everybody do this? What's the catch? It's that easy. It's sold way before you ever get to this presentation anyway. The opportunity to monetize, well, there's two versions of the report because we think that there's two versions of federal employees. The first version is the pre-retirees. That's somebody that is imminently retiring or they're within a few years of retiring. They're not really concerned about what's going on during their career. They're not concerned about increasing their TSP savings. It's too late. They're ready to retire. The opportunities for you to monetize that relationship are certainly life insurance because their group life insurance gets very, very expensive at an increasing rate as they retire. And secondly, of course, rolling over their annuity from the TSP to an IRA, which is typically funded with a fixed index annuity with a guaranteed income rider. Of course, you know that already, but that's the home run. There's lots of doubles and singles. For mid-career folks, they're not really thinking about when should they elect Social Security or what survivor benefits are on their pension. They're thinking about getting past this month and next month. They're in the grind. Their kids are growing up. They got private school. They're growing their lifestyle. They're trying to support that. So they're more concerned about things like disability income, life insurance, and I put down center of influence, COI, because they're very valuable as centers of influence. Even if I don't make money off of that client is a great ambassador because, as I said earlier, it's a very sticky marketplace and they all talk to each other. So finally, the support to support you, to stand you up and then sustain it throughout your career, throughout this process of working in it. So as you advance, there are training opportunities for you to learn more and more and to specialize in some of the more complicated markets in the federal market, like air traffic controllers or federal firefighters or law enforcement officers. What do? We're going to train you to have a conversational competence. You're not going to be an expert right away, but you're going to gain conversational competence. And most importantly, you're going to have a process. Step 1, step 2, step 3, you do this and trust the process, and the process will create this business for you, create clients, close business, pay you commissions, and enhance your practice. That's what it's all about. So we're going to give you that process and the tools you need to support these federal employees in their efforts to retire on time and the way that they picture it.
Hey, Rick, I'm
Yes.
not sure if your slides are still showing, but I'm not seeing anything come up. I just see you and I
Uh-oh.
see Rick
Okay.
Katz, head
Well,
coach.
I'm looking under share right now, and it doesn't. It's blanked out. So maybe you can share that with me. Let me do
Yeah, let
that.
me see if that
It
works
was
again.
disabled.
Oh no. Yeah, it was working
Hopefully,
earlier.
hopefully I was
Try
doing a
this.
good enough job talking about
No,
it.
that was great. We actually had a
Um,
question that came up while you were going over the information. Great information
Good.
so
So
far.
let's try this. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, yep, I could see it now. And we did have
Excellent.
a question come up as well, if we
Yes,
could take a quick pause.
you bet.
So Don Hannafin, thank you for asking your
Hi, Don.
question. He asked, which licenses are required to join federal benefits?
Oh, that's a great question, Don. Simply just fixed life insurance and annuities. You don't need to be registered. You don't have to be an investment advisor. You can do this with a life and an annuity license. Now, if you are registered, great. That expands what your opportunities are. And actually, we call it the leftover money. You get to manage their wealth as well. But what we're really most interested in is helping them create income streams when they retire. And the products that we use to do that are fixed products like life insurance or fixed index annuities. Any other questions?
That was it so far. I'm sure
Good.
we'll have some more
Okay.
come up. Thanks for answering
Okay.
that.
So as I said, we'll train you to have conversational competence and learn a process. That's what makes this so turnkey, that you don't need to figure out, like, what do I do now? What do I say to them when I get them on the phone? How do I get them on the phone? What does that first meeting look like? What's my goal for that first meeting? What's the agenda for the first meeting? How about the fact finder? What questions should I ask? All of that is part of the process. We don't want you to rely on your talent and tenacity. We want to rely on your ambition and your professionalism and your servant leadership. We want to rely on you wanting to help these people. What a great way to make a living. We want you to do good to do well. So the program is really in two steps. The first step is you go through a certification program called a Professional Federal Benefits Coach, PFBC. Get a little logo like this after you go through it. It's a 3-day training course, 2 hours a day. There's a final exam afterwards. I'm confident that you'll pass the exam. It's not to trick you, it's to make sure that you know the information and you become a certified professional federal benefits coach. It provides you with public credibility. They really appreciate that because they're dealing with a lot of folks that typically don't know how these federal benefits work, and they're really seeking out somebody that has a clue. And while you don't know all of it yet, you're the tip of the iceberg, because underneath the water is Federal Bridge. We have those answers. That's a great question. Let me talk to my team and get you an answer for that. How do I buy back my military? Does military buyback time count towards my minimum years of service? What happens to my sick leave when I retire? How do you calculate my pension? All of those things we can help you. And through this training, this PFBC training, you're going to learn an awful lot about it. And the materials you get from that training are going to become your resource manual for helping federal employees. The second part of the program is the software. It's the presentation software. It's nationally recognized forecast federal benefits and retirement report. It's free to every federal employee. It's your job to get out there and give it to every federal employee. After you've done the fact finding, it will show them where they are and where they're headed. It will take all of their benefits and put it in one place and explain what happens to them, what happens to health insurance when you retire, what are your choices when you elect your pension when you retire, what are your choices with Social Security, and so forth. Unlike a lot of other presentation software, it's very client friendly, and most importantly, it's in client speak. It's not in insurance company speak or in financial speak. It's in English, so they understand exactly what these things are. It will tell them their status, their projections, and most importantly, how they can influence the outcome. What is it, Bill, that you can do to retire with more money? A very highly personalized story, a client story. In fact, I'll show you in just a minute a couple of samples. We even do an executive summary that's a personal, detailed, emotional story, action-oriented story for that particular client. It's not pushing products. The product part of it is the easiest part of what we do. Now, that 3-day training, we'll talk about general benefits and retirement planning. We'll talk about the old retirement system and the new one, CSRS and FERS. We'll talk about surviving spouse benefits, group life insurance, Social Security. They have no idea how Social Security works, so we're going to spend some time to make sure that you can have a conversation and explain to them how Social Security works and survivor benefits. The federal government allows them to retire before they're eligible for Social Security. So they make this bridge payment called a special retirement supplement or a FERS supplement, that they pay them a portion of what they're going to receive Social Security until they're eligible for Social Security. We'll also talk about health insurance, FEHB, unless they're a postal employee, and then it's PSHB, that's Postal Service Health Benefits or Federal Employee Health Benefits. And then we'll, of course, talk about the TSP and taxes, how they're treated, how they can pay less in taxes, how the income streams work and how they can manage that, and what happens in retirement. And then finally, for you, planning ahead and the resources that are available, how you access those resources, and what the next steps are. Now, Federal Bridge, this is what it looks like on the website, and it will allow you to Give me just a minute. I'm going to show you a sample. Federal Bridge has all the information about the federal market. If you notice on the top, it has instruction, resources, contact information. Down here, there's an explanation. Here's when the classes are, and there's an explanation of how it works and what the program is and how it works. And each of you can go through that following this. It's federal-bridge.com, federal-bridge.com, just like it shows on the screen. Here is the forecast. That's what it looks like on the front cover. It has their client's name right there. It has your name underneath it, and of course the date. And it includes all of these different features. It includes the executive summary, their FERS annuity computation, which is their pension. It includes the FERS supplement, Social Security, group life insurance, TSP, health insurance options. Everything else is on there as well. Here is what the forecast shows as an executive summary. I'm going to pull this up for a minute. Believe it or not, I'm going to actually shut up for about 15, 30, 20 seconds and let you take a look at this and see how specific this is and how accurate it is for this particular client based on what answers they gave during the fact finder. They love this, by the way. If I have a client that I'm not sure they're going to come back for the presentation, I cut and paste this this executive summary and stick it in an email and say, gee, Bill, this is what we're going to be talking about when we get together. Here's a summary of your story. I want to meet this guy. It's a very popular page. Here's a summary page of all the data. So I get to go over all the data with the client to make sure that we're accurate, to make sure we have all the birth dates right. And we talk about what happens to their sick leave when they retire, what happens to their unused annual leave when they retire, health insurance, life insurance, and so forth. We talk about all of those things. And then it has a section where we talk about the 3 streams of income. Here's where you come in and how you help them solve it. When they retire, they go from 1 paycheck to 3 streams of income. The first stream of income is their FERS annuity. That's their pension. They have 3 choices. Do they take the whole pension or do they take some form of survivor benefit? The second page is second stream of income is Social Security. You can take it early at age 62. Here are the implications, you know, like having an income offset, things like that. Or you can wait till age 67, or you can wait till age 70 and max out your Social Security benefit. I don't care what they do. My job is to make sure they understand all their choices and the implications of each one of those choices, and they can make a really good decision. The third stream of income is their TSP. If you take that TSP, the total amount, and you roll it into an IRA, now we're not going to roll all of it. We want to make sure that we're taking care of suitability and we're helping out that client, but we'll do it to the extent that they need it to replace their income. And make sure that it's a suitable sale. In other words, they need some emergency money as well. Well, you can do it yourself and get $1,700, or you can put it into this protected IRA. That means it's an IRA funded with a special kind of annuity that's guaranteed not to go down. And when you turn on the faucet for income, it's guaranteed for the rest of your life. Put it in a drawer. It doesn't matter who the president is. It doesn't matter what the stock market's doing. It doesn't matter what inflation is. You're going to get that check guaranteed. Oh, and if you die earlier than expected, the leftover money goes to your named beneficiary. Kind of a no-brainer. There's no sale, there's no big close. So here's the summary page of the 3 streams of income. We talk about what they've elected. In this particular sample, I know it's kind of small on your screen, but this person had about $550,000. They only need about $400,000 to replace their income, and the rest of it is wealth. If you're a money manager or you're a financial advisor, you can help them with that wealth. Otherwise, just even with a life and annuity contract, you've just rolled over, you've just sold a $430,000 rollover. You do the math. You know, at 5%, it's $8,000. This is really easy. I mean, this is not rocket science here. It will also, here's what the fact finder looks like. There's 2 pages. The front page of the fact finder is data and quantitative information. Second page is qualitative information. So we ask them questions about what their plans are. Do they have any other plans out there? You got an IRA or an old 403B from the hospital, because I'm talking to a nurse at the VA. What keeps them up at night? All of those things get incorporated into that executive summary. They love this. So, competitors. I said there's other programs out there. One of them is an FRC. It's a great program. I am not criticizing any of them. It is a great program, and the conventional thinking of this program is the smartest person in the room will win the business. Learn how all the benefits work, and that will attract the business to you. We're taking a little bit different approach. We believe that when you achieve full engagement by the client and appreciation and understanding of their situation, then you win. That's that customer intimacy. It's just a different approach. The same thing goes true with the conventional thinking that generally they are market centric. This is how the market works. This is how the federal government is going to take care of you. I understand how the federal benefits work, how federal retirement works, what the process is. Our approach is a little different, where we're looking at client centric. I want your personal email address, not your .gov. This is about you and your family, not about the VA. You've put your time in. It's now your time. We want to make sure that it's client-centric. Here's an idea for you. It's been about 20 years since I sent a thank you note to my clients. Never send a thank you note to your clients. I'll tell you why. A thank you note means, gee, Bill, thank you for doing business with me. I earned a commission, got to pay for my son's bar mitzvah. It's about you. Sending a thank you note is about you. I want to talk about them. I want to make it client-centric. So instead of saying thank you, I send them a note that says, gee, Bill, congratulations. You and your wife should be very proud to have asked to talk to a federal benefit specialist and plan ahead so you get better results. I'm looking forward to continuing the process with you. See you next Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Congratulations has a different feel than thank you. So focus your efforts. It's a target market, and it's highly definable. We know where they are. We know where they live, how much money they make, who their boss is. We have so much information about this public sector, federal employees. Before I meet with a client, I know their month and year of birth. I know when they started working for the federal government, almost always. I know their home address. I know how much money they made last year. I know what their title is. I know what their career path is. All of these things before I ever meet that person, simply by knowing their name and what agency they work for and what they do for a living. It's available nationally. It doesn't matter if you're in a rural area or not. If you're in Omaha or Chicago or Topeka, Kansas, or Goodland, Kansas, it doesn't matter. It's available everywhere because there are post offices and VA hospitals or clinics everywhere. There's always a federal agency. You get into the rural areas, you've got Farm Bureau and Department of Agriculture. So no matter where you are, there are federal employees to be found around you, and it's significantly underserved. I think twice a year, I run into somebody that's actually talked to somebody else already. They might have gone to a seminar or webinar or something like that, but they're not being helped. It is very lucrative and very sustainable. You're not going to run out of clients for sure. So let's talk about what the program is. Let's talk turkey here. So the software is $100 a month. It's actually $125 a month, but because you're part of IMSS, the first 6 months, you get a 25% discount. It's $100 a month for the software, all in. As many reports as you want, and you can help get collaboration on every one of those reports. Every one, especially as you start out, we will review and we'll give you talking points on what we see on that particular report. If you send in invalid information, like you miscalculated the retirement date and you're asking for them to retire before they're actually eligible, we'll let you know and we'll adjust the report for you. So that's the Federal Bridge subscription. It's collaborating planner. That collaborating is very, very important, $100 a month. The training itself, it's a one-shot deal. It's $1,250 for that training. It's 3 days, 2 hours a day. Let me tell you the most important thing about that training. Once you go through it, You get to monitor it again and again and again. It's offered about every 2 to 3 weeks. There's a schedule on the website. So when you go through it once, you're going to retain 60% of the information because you haven't done it yet. Once you get out into the marketplace, even if you're already in the federal market, as you learn more, context will make it, now I know what he's talking about. Now I've seen it in person. I saw it, saw one in the wild. So that will allow you to gain more and more insight. In the classes, I usually have at least half the people that are taking that class have already been through it at least once. So you get to go through again, ask questions, and learn something more. And I'm constantly editing and updating the training so it's more and more contemporary and talking about things that are going on today. That's the program. That repeat attendance is really, really important. So just to remind you of that, the value proposition, it's a client acquisition program. It's an underserved market. We will train and equip you to be a financial professional, a federal benefit specialist in this market. It's an opportunity to monetize significantly and will help support and sustain your efforts. What will I do? Well, individual and group consultation. You want to talk to me about it? I can tell you right now. You guys want to, if you want to talk a little bit more about it, you can go checkinwithcats.com. www.checkinwithcats.com, KATZ.com. That'll give you a 15-minute on my schedule, and we can talk about what your practice is and whether this makes sense or not. And I will do that throughout your career. If you have to need some coaching on a particular case, hey, I tripped over a big one, I don't know how to approach it, what are your ideas on this? We'll talk about benefits and regulatory issues and solutions on how you solve the problem. There's also additional training and support along the way. We'll talk about best practices. For example, I have a seminar on best practices for working federal leads. If you're working federal leads right now and you're getting 30% no-shows or your closing ratio is not that great, you got to sit in on this seminar. It's fantastic, and you'll learn a process for working the leads. Then you'll use this for the rest of the process. But first, you got to get the people to show up, and communication and collaboration will help you with that. So once again, here's the website. I'm going to be quiet for just a minute and ask Kat if there's any other questions. I'd love to chat with you about it. I'll be at the Academy also. If any of you are going, the Life and Annuity Academies are fantastic. It's a great opportunity for you to be around people that are actually doing it and experts that you can kind of spend some time with and create some relationships and really uncover all of those resources. So federalbridge.com with a dash in the middle of federal and bridge.
Good
Question.
stuff. Oh yeah, good stuff, Rick. It definitely generated a bunch of questions. So I'm gonna go based off of a person that I see here. So thank you so much for all of your questions, Russell. I know I had actually reached out to you quite some time ago, so I'm really happy to have you here. You had asked if we have a 7 and 66, will it or can it be transferred to IMES? The answer to that is yes to the 66, just not to the 7. And then you had also asked if this program can be used with federal employees that are already retired.
Yes, it can with, and this is really interesting, Russell. I think I heard it was Russell that asked. About 40% of all federal employees have not touched their TSP within 2 years of retiring. Meaning they've done nothing. They've already retired, and all they did was hand in their paycheck, hand in their retirement paperwork, and they haven't done anything. So not only is the opportunity for you to help them, but there's a lot of them that still need help as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rick. And then I had some more. It definitely has drum up a bunch of questions. Tracy Anderson had asked, are the classes taught live? Are there any recorded trainings? So you
Yeah,
actually just had one this morning, right, Rick?
yeah, I did. It's going on this week. Tomorrow will be day 2 of that session. The original class that we're talking about here for the professional federal benefits coach is a live class on Zoom. So it's live, and but there are a lot of other training videos that you'll have access to on the agent resources on our website. So once you go through the training and subscribe to the software, you get access to all that other further training. I also have other live training. About once a month, I'm going to have an ad hoc webinar on some topic. For example, the federal government last year had some voluntary early retirement offers. And we better learn what that is. So I threw together an hour webinar and did that a couple of times last year to make sure that all the agents that are working in that market understood what that was when they ran across one.
Nice, nice. And then Tracy also had asked what federal lead systems are available with Federal Bridge. I know I asked you the same thing, so I know you mentioned LG4. I have some three other ones that I like to use as well. LG4 is a good one. Safe Money Marketing, Revenex, Precision Leads, all great options. I have an abundance of options I can give you in pair with our marketing implementation specialist. And then Rick, you remember you had shared some pretty crazy results that you had gotten from those leads. So remind me about those numbers.
Yeah, I got to tell you, and my favorite out of all those, they're all really good. They all work. My favorite is Lead Gen 4,
Mhm.
and part of it is because it was so responsive. Those leads specifically were very responsive to a best practices process. So you can expect about 15 times your investment. So that means for every $100 lead, that's going to generate about $1,500 of commission. Now, that doesn't mean every lead is going to generate that. That means that 10 leads are going to generate about $15,000 of commission. It's extraordinary. I just closed a case, spent $100 on a lead, and I'm rolling over $617,000 from a TSP.
Wow,
And
that's amazing.
that's tranche one. That's phase one for this particular client. There's more there. Oh, and we also have some pending life insurance on that client as well. So if you know how to work them and you know how to get to them and you're patient, I love the leads. I was really against it for a long time, but I think the leads, if you work them the right way and you work every one of those leads as a center of influence, you'll need a quarter of the number of leads that you think you will, because your calendar will just fill up.
Right. And with the right system in place, I can definitely see that happening. I mean, the results speak for itself. And
Yeah.
there was another question that came up. So is there this is also from Tracy, is there an actual review of a federal employment or employee pay stub that's part of any of your live training? So maybe going over like a
Yes.
client case, client
Yeah.
study
Hey,
maybe?
Tracy, I like you already. We haven't even met. So this is what we do. We will show, unfortunately, gosh, this is the federal government. Every agency has their own payroll system. There are about 5 or 6 different payroll systems depending upon what federal agency they work for. So a VA pay stub looks different than the Department of Agriculture, which looks different than the post office. So we'll review several different pay stubs, and we have online under agent resources. One of the resources is how to read a pay stub, and I have 3 or 4 different sample pay stubs so you can read them. They'll say, one of them will say, like under FEGLI, the group life insurance, it'll say basic plus A plus B times 5. Another one will say INZ5. Huh? So they're completely different. You have to learn how to read a pay stub based on who your customer is.
Nice, nice. Okay, well, thank you for all those questions, Tracy. And I still have a bunch more for you, Rick, coming right at you. Gary also asked, this is more for me, I guess. Could you cover more marketing and costs? So the answer to that, Gary, is yes. I will have your annuity marketer, Laura, or Matt on the life side reach out to you regarding how you can make use of this and put any kind of marketing reimbursement into the federal bridge program because we do have agent incentives for that, like I had mentioned earlier. Um, Don had also asked, where does the training take place? Is this virtual or do you have any kind of live trainings? Tell us about your trainings, Rick.
Yeah, so the professional federal benefits coach training, that training session that's 3 days, is done over Zoom. So it's live but virtual. We are planning training with IAMS. So it will be at the Life and Annuity Academy and other gatherings like that. We're also talking about putting together a user group. So once you've been through the training, we might have a conference that's just for the folks that have been through training already. But right now, the part that we're talking about, it's virtual, but live.
Yes, and I did see that your live training schedule was posted on the website federal-bridge.com, and I'll be sending all of that out as well to you guys so you have the links and some more information on Federal Bridge. And I have one more person that had asked a couple of questions, Ron Colucci. So yes, we will be sending over the recording and the slides. So definitely don't worry if you had missed anything, Ron. And he had also asked if the leads you were referring to were leads or presets.
Presets. They're all preset appointments. I know when I get that appointment, it's coordinated with my calendar. You probably know how this works, but I'll just say it anyway. It's coordinated with my calendar on a specific date and time that I've made myself available. I know what agency they're with. I know what their title is. I know their location. I know a phone number, and I know an email address. And from that information, with some websites, some special websites. One of them is subscription, but most of them are public. On these websites, I can do some pre-appointment research and find out all sorts of things like their date of birth and last year's salary and when their start date with the particular agency and a bunch of other information as well.
Good, good. Thank you for answering that. And one thing I want to add, while I'm putting up this poll here, or actually I'll post that after. It's about our academy where you'll also be at, Rick. But one thing I want to add, you guys, is, as a marketer, we talk about thousands and thousands and thousands of lead programs. Heck, I could even buy a lead program myself since I'm licensed, but if I don't know anything about the federal space, even though I know how much opportunity there is by buying these leads, I could work all of the charm in the world that I want. I'm a charming person. But if I don't have a foundation, if I don't have a system in play, that charm could fall right through the crack of someone that actually knows about what they're talking about. And so
Yep.
leads are leads, but this is a system to pair along with those leads and to help you really scale your practice. And so definitely use Rick as a resource, use us as a resource, and really look at this information again, and then consider if you'd like to move forward with Rick or not. Because like I said, he's the type of trainer that will really take you under his wing from everything that I've seen in his training, and it's very comprehensive. So there's no one I trust more than Rick to be able to spearhead Federal Bridge for you guys.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. I'm going to launch one more poll. Rick, are you coming out to all of our life and annuity academies?
Well, I'm scheduled for the April and the May so far. So in the near future, yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Nice. Well, if any of you guys are coming out to this academy, you'll get to meet Rick. Or if you haven't been out to an academy yet and would like to, he'll be here to talk more in depth with. And then I had launched the poll, do you want to be invited to our IMS Life and Annuity Academy? So thank you guys for taking the time to vote. And thank you guys for attending this webinar. I think there was a lot of information that was shared. I appreciate all of these questions. If there was one that I missed, I'll definitely be reaching out and following up with you guys. But till then, I certainly hope that you have a nice rest of your week. And thank you for your time. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.